גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב, יאללה ביי, 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 הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב, יאללה ביי, 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 one more time, הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
It is very good to be here with the few people that we have joining Ellen, the woman of the hour, as she becomes Bat Mitzvah here at Temple Emanu-El. For all of you who are joining us via Zoom or Facebook Live, my name is Rabbi Max Miller. I'm here with Cantor Lauren Adesnik, and everyone surely knows Ellen First, who is our Bat Mitzvah, who will be leading us in our services, and we are so excited to be here with you, Ellen. For everyone joining us here in person, please make sure you have your red Sidorim. I see many of you already have. We will be calling out page numbers from that Sidor. For everyone joining us online, there will be a Sidor pinned to the Facebook feed. We encourage you, please sing along with us. We can hear you from where you are. We know that you are joining us, so please, please sing along. We cannot wait to hear all about how you are cheering Ellen on throughout this service. And we are just going to continue with a little Hine Matov, welcoming everyone into the space as we bring in more joy and more love.
Rabbi Max, before we do that, I'm wondering,
yes,
can you give everybody a little clue as to like how we are all set up and where we are and where's
sure,
the bat mitzvah? Yeah.
Yes, so we have a very large space here in our sanctuary, Temple Emanu-El. The bat mitzvah family is about 33 feet away. I believe we used the tape measure to figure out. And Cantor and I are about at least 6 or 8 feet away. And the guests are stationed in their pods, socially distant from one another, and everyone is wearing their masks to make sure that we are all praying and gathering safely and responsibly, as we also seek to continue the joy of young men and women becoming bar and bat mitzvah. So we're so happy to be here with you, Ellen.
Here we go. Feel free to sing and clap at home. שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב, יאללה ליי, 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 הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב, יאללה ליי, 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 הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד.
Ellen, now is your time to come on up to the Amud, to the podium, and with you, your mom and your dad, to present you with your talit, your first piece of adult Jewish clothing to wear whenever we pray together, but especially on Shabbat, on Saturdays, as we gather as a community. The talit is worn by the members of our congregation who have become bar and bat mitzvah. So as your parents present you with your talit, they will read the prayer, the blessing in the English at the top of the page.
As this talit is draped around your shoulders, may the voices of the generations speak to you. May you know that there is a people, a rich heritage to which you belong, a sacred place from which you are connected to all who dwell on earth.
As you are embraced in the folds of this talit, so too are you wrapped in the loving embrace of your family, community, and this holy congregation. May the simplest of garments always be for you, a symbol of God's abiding and sheltering presence.
All right.
As you recite the blessing and wrap yourself in this talit, we proudly watch and celebrate with you as you accept your place in the chain of our tradition.
Okay, Ellen, now is the time to read the talit blessing as your parents drape the talit over your shoulders.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kedishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahitatef batzitzit.
Amen. A beautiful, beautiful talit it is. We join together as one community, one family, giving thanks to God for enabling us to reach this magnificent moment with the words of Shehechianu, the bottom of page 5.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kimanu v'higianu l'zman hazeh. Amen.
All right, Jeffrey and Lisa. Hugs and kisses.
Mazel tov.
Ellen, you lead for us this bat mitzvah prayer, page 6.
God be with me on this occasion for my bat mitzvah. Help me make meaningful the covenant you now establish with me. Sustain me with a sense of holiness, inspire in me a desire to be special. I do not ask that you make my life easy, resolve my problems, map out the directions of my life. I ask only that you strengthen within me the desire to mold and shape my life in accordance with your will. In this hour of my bat mitzvah, I invoke your blessing upon my parents and friends and all who have loved and cared for me and have brought me to this time of gladness. Give them joy and fulfillment in my growth and my achievement, you who turn the heads of children to their parents and the hearts of parents to their children.
Amen. Okay, we continue praying responsively, page 13.
Okay. May the door of the synagogue be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love, all who are lonely for fellowship.
May it welcome all who have cares to unburden, thanks to express, hopes to nurture.
May the door of the synagogue be narrow enough to shut out the pettiness and pride.
May its threshold be no stumbling block to young or straying feet.
May it be too high to admit indifference, selfishness, and harshness.
May this synagogue be for all who enter the doorway to a richer and more meaningful life. We rise with you, Ellen, for Baruch Hu on page 15. We continue our prayers with Ma'ariv Aravim as we bring on the evening, as we close out this Shabbat with this Havdalah Bat Mitzvah, as you help us, Ellen, to bring on the evening of a new week, but still in the last few hours of Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai Elokeinu melech haolam asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim bechokma boteach sha'arim uvit vuna meshane itim umachalif et hazmanim sadir et hakochavim bishmerotechem barakia kirtzono. Urei yom v'layla golel or mipnei hoshech v'choshet mipnei or. Uma'avir yom umevi layla umavdil bein yom uve layla. Adonai tzavaot shmo. El chai v'kayam tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai hama'avir aravim. Hama'aviv aravim.
Continue praying with you with Ahava Rabbah on page 16. And Ellen, this is a prayer about love, but it's not simply the love that exists with family. It is an eternal love that we believe actually on this day being Simchat Torah, this happy occasion that we get to have a delayed bat mitzvah for you on such an important day on the Jewish calendar. With this prayer, Ahava Rabbah is all about the love that God has given to us through the Torah. And that love is what you're going to share with all of us as you chant and lead for us the Torah service in just a few moments. Don't worry, not too soon. We still have a way to work up to it. But Ahava Rabbah, our prayer of eternal and great abundant love, page 16.
Ahava Rabbah Ahavtanu Adonai Eloheinu Chemla Gedola Vitera Chamota Aleinu Ba'avor Avotenu V'imotenu Shabbat Hu V'cha V'lamdeim Hukei Chaim Kain Techonenu Utlamdenu Hamerhim Rachem Aleinu V'ten V'libenu L'chavin Ulhaskil Lishmoa Lilmud Uvalmed Lishmor V'lasot Ulkayem et kol divrei Talmud Toratecha ba'achava. Baruch atah Adonai habocher ba'amo Yisrael ba'achava.
Amen. Our Shema, following on page 18, that leads us into the oneness of the Jewish people, the oneness of God, the oneness that we feel as a community supporting you today, Alan, and for the rest of your days. We join together, Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto, Le'olam Va'ed.
Please be seated. We join with you, Alan, in words of Ve'ahavta, words from our Torah that remind us of all of the ways in which we can feel our Judaism throughout our lives, every moment of every day, as we join with you at the bottom of page 18.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha u'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha v'chayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinatam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shitecha b'mitecha u'letcha b'derek uv'shobecha uv'kumecha uv'sharta me'ot al yadecha v'chayu letotafot b'ninecha uv'taftam al mezuzot beitecha uv'yisharecha למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים אלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתיכם מארץ מצרים להיות להם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Adonai Elohim Emet.
My pleasure to invite up Sally Bear, proud grandma, to the microphone to lead us in the responsive reading on page 19.
Adonai, our God, you took us out of slavery in Egypt. You made us free.
You were in the courage with which we overcame 40 years of desert wandering.
Even today, you are in the hope that, like a beam of light, brightens the darkness of suffering and despair.
You are in love that creates, protects, forgives.
Standing at the sea, we felt your goodness and your love, and we sang a new song to you, and still today we sing that song.
We praise you, Adonai, Redeemer of Israel. All right, our Song of Freedom, Mi Chamocha, page 20.
Let's do that again, and everyone's gonna follow around and us for our clap. Here we go. Sur Yisrael, Kuba Bezrat Yisrael, Ufidechne Umecha, Yehuda Yisrael, Koleinu Adonai Tzivaot Shemo, Kedosh Yisrael, Baruch Ata Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael.
On page 21, we rise for the Amidah. Oh, not yet. Not yet.
Couple more pages.
Couple more pages. But I like the initiative. I like that you're ready.
While we're stopped, though, I'm going to remind all of our wonderful, wonderful guests just to please keep your masks on for our whole service, so we can make sure that we're all being safe for COVID, even when you are coming up for your honor. We really, really appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Cantor. Yes. Okay, we are going to rise for the Amidah on page 21. And Ellen, this prayer is not just about honoring God or Shabbat, but this is actually talking about the generations of Jews who have come before you, who have allowed you to stand here on this bima in front of the Amud, this podium, leading our congregation with such confidence. And I wish if I wasn't wearing this mask, you'd see me smiling from ear to ear as you are leading our congregation so wonderfully. We join together with you, the Amidah, page 21.
Adonai sevatai tifta ufia kitehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagedol, Hagibor ve'Hanara, El Elyon, Gomel Hasadim Tovim Vekonei Hakol Vezocher Hasadevot V'Himot Umevi Gula Levneilem Leman Shmo V'Achava Melech Ozer Umoshia Umogen Baruch atah Adonai, Mekel Bezrat Sarah. Ata Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Merayeh HaKol Tarav L'Roshia. Meshiv HaRuach U'Morid HaGashem, Mechakel Chaim B'Chesed, Mechayeh HaKol Bracha Rachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Ve'Rofih Cholim, U'Matir Asurim, U'Mekayem Emunato Lishenei Afar, Michamocha Ba'al Kevurot, Dumei Damech Lach, Melech Mimi, U'Mechayeh, U'Matzmiach Yeshua, V'Ne'eman Atav L'Chayot HaKol. Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol.
Now, Harvey and Holly, it is my pleasure to invite you up to the microphone for the blessing for the responsive reading on page 23.
Many are the ways of holiness, varied are its paths.
There is holiness when we strive
To be true to the best we know.
There is holiness when we are kind to others.
There is holiness when we strive for harmony in all of our relationships.
There is holiness when people of different backgrounds work together for a common future.
There is holiness when people seek justice and struggle for righteousness.
There is holiness when people create lasting poetry or song or philosophy.
There is holiness when we forget what divides us and remember what unites us.
Holy, holy, holy is Adonai our God.
Page 24. Thank you both very much. Page 24, we continue with Kedusha.
Mekadesh Hashimcha ba'olam, Yishim Shemot Yishimu Tovish Memorom, Kakatuv Hayad Nevi'echa, V'kara Zelzeh Ve'omar, Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzevaot, Melech kol haaretz, Kevodo, Adir Adirenu Adonai Adonenu, Madir Shimcha v'kol haaretz, Baruch Kevod Adonai Mimkomo. Echadu Eloheinu, Hu Avinu Hu Malkeinu, Hu Moshienu v'Hu Yashvienu, V'Rachama Le'nei Kol Chai, Ani Adonai Ahichem, Yimloch Adonai Le'olam, Elohai Yichzion, Le'dor v'dor, Alleluia. Le'dor v'dor,
Ledor vador,
Le'dor v'dor,
ledor vador,
Le'dor v'dor, nagid God lecha. Le'dor v'dor,
ledor vador,
Le'dor v'dor,
ledor vador,
Le'dor v'dor, nagid God lecha. Ulenetzach netzachim, kedushatecha nachish, kedushatecha nadish. Shivcha Eloheinu v'pinu lo yamush le'olam ha'ed. Here comes your part. Le'dor v'dor,
ledor vador,
Le'dor v'dor,
ledor vador,
Le'dor v'dor, nagid God lecha. Le'dor v'dor,
ledor vador,
Le'dor v'dor,
ledor vador,
Le'dor v'dor, nagid God lecha. Ki hamelech gadol, gadol v'kadosh, gadol v'kadosh ata. Ki hamelech gadol, gadol v'kadosh, gadol v'kadosh ata. Ata Adonai, ha'el hakadosh.
Please be seated. You lead for us at page 25, the responsive reading.
From the old, the Jewish people have seen Shabbat as a unique gift, a token of its covenant with God.
Shabbat is the most cherished creation of the Jewish spirit. It mirrors the essence of the Jewish soul.
Shabbat has never been merely a day of rest from labor. It has always been a break in the routine of everyday life.
Shabbat is a symbol of liberation and triumph, of the holy over the profane, of spirit over matter.
In average age, Shabbat afforded the Jew a sacred retreat, a haven of safety, a fountain of new strength, and perpetual renewal.
Shabbat nurtures family life in love and harmony. A home at peace welcomes Shabbat with joy.
Shabbat is a part of nature's design, the very purpose of creation. All that was created attained its fulfillment in Shabbat.
Shabbat is our hope, the calm haven where all the weary find rest. With the coming of Shabbat, redemption and peace enter the world. Our song of joy on Shabbat, Yismechu, page 26.
Yismechu v'malchutecha, Shomrei, 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 Shabbat v'chorei, Chorei Shabbat. Yismechu v'malchutecha, Shomrei, 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 Shabbat v'chorei, Chorei Shabbat. One verse. Zeker v'ma'aseh v'reshit Shabbat. Zeker v'ma'aseh v'reshit Shabbat. Yismechu v'malchutecha, Shomrei, 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 Shabbat v'chorei, Chorei Shabbat. Yismechu v'malchutecha, Shomrei, 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 Shabbat v'chorei, Chorei Shabbat.
We are so pleased that we can be joined by the wonders of technology and Zoom by Amy and Ryan, who will lead us in the responsive reading on page 27.
Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Ready? Our world is full of wonders and miracles, but all it takes is one little hand placed before our eyes and we see nothing.
But miracles are all around us and within us. We are each walking miracles.
When we are bruised, what miracle heals us? When we see beauty, what miracle elevates us? When we hear music, what miracle moves us?
We see suffering, what miracle saddens us? When we give and receive love, what miracle warms us? When we pray, what miracle renews us?
Every springtime is a miracle. Every snowflake is a miracle. The thoughts we think, the words we speak, the hopes we cherish, each is a miracle.
For all these miracles, may your name be exalted and blessed forever and ever. Thank you both very much. To continue reading responsively on page 28, I'd like to invite up Fred and Martha to the microphone to lead us in this reading.
We know that there is no greater gift than peace. Help us to find the peace that comes from the love of your Torah.
Inspire us to banish hatred, war, bloodshed, and bigotry. Help us to establish forever one human family, doing your will in love and peace.
Help us to find the peace in ourselves and among all people. O God of peace, bless us with peace.
You have given us the power, O God, to bring peace and justice into the world. May we always love peace and pursue it, and love our fellow creatures. Fill us with kindness, wisdom, and love. Then shall we learn to live in peace.
Blessed is God, teacher of peace.
Thank you both very much. Proud of grandparents. All right. We take now, Ellen, a few moments. We've been joined by community who are present with us physically here and virtually. And we take now just a few moments to close our eyes for a deep breath, for a moment or two, just to bring those good thoughts and feelings of the past day, of where we are right now, and to give gratitude and thanks to God for arriving at this occasion for a few moments of silent prayer and reflection.
Shalom Rav, that great and abundant peace may fill us all, may fill the entire world. Shalom Rav, O Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Le'olam. 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 Ki ata hu melech Adon, Mechor HaShalom. Ki ata hu melech Adon, Mechor HaShalom. Shalom Rav, O Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav, O Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Le'olam. V'tov te'elecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael. B'chol עת ובכל שעה לשמונך. Shalom Rav, O Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav, O Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Le'olam. Tasim Le'olam. Tasim Le'olam.
All right, Ellen, as you are about to read from the Torah, we have said such wonderful things about you already, but there is still a lot more to come. Now I'd like to invite up your parents, Lisa and Jeffrey, to give the parent blessing for you on page 31 as you prepare to become officially, formally, bat mitzvah.
May you live to see your world fulfilled. May your destiny be for worlds still to come. And may you trust in generations past and yet to be.
May your heart be filled with intuition and your words be filled with insight. May songs of praise be ever upon your tongue and your vision be on a straight path before you.
May your eyes shine with the light of holy words and your face reflect the brightness of the heavens. May your lips ever speak wisdom and your fulfillment be in righteousness.
A Jewish home opens its heart and it links to the generations is proclaimed. Today, our child, nearly grown, is called to read from the Torah and is welcomed into the congregation. May this moment be blessed.
Amen.
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 We rise for our Torah service, page 32.
Ki mitzion tetzeh Torah, Ki mitzion tetzeh Torah, Shenatan, Torah, Torah. Baruch Shenatan, Torah, Torah. Le'ava Yisrael, B'Kedushato.
All right, so Jeffrey, if you would pick up the Torah, or Lisa, what was the order, Cantor?
Dad holds,
Okay,
Mom kiss,
great. Pass
then
it on to Ellen. So Jeffrey, I'm going to ask you to hold on to it for just a second. And then Ellen, I'm going to ask you to pass it to your mom for a quick, to your wife for just a quick hug and a kiss, and then passing it to your daughter. So Ellen, hi.
Hi.
You are standing up here, having done so wonderfully, and you are about to receive the Torah from your dad. And when you hold it, you are going to be taking your place in the chain of the tradition of our congregation and of the Jewish people for thousands and thousands of years. And the weight of the Torah, the physical weight, is because there's a lot of words in there, but there's a spiritual weight too. As you hold it, you become responsible for what's written inside. And as you take this, I know that you will take that responsibility seriously. And so Jeffrey, if you'll pass it to Lisa for a quick hug and kiss. Yep. Oh, okay. Yep. And Lisa passing it to Ellen. As we join together in words of Shema, we are honored because we have grandparents who are present with us, Fred and Martha and Sally. And we know that Eugene and Joan are looking down, are here with us in spirit as we say these words of Shema come right from our Torah.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo, Gadol Adonai Iti, Uneromima, Shemo Yaktav. And now the first family can undress the Torah. Lecha Adonai HaGedula, HaGevura, HaTiferet, HaNetzach VeHaHod. Ki Kol Bashamayim U'Ba'aretz, Ki Kol Bashamayim U'Ba'aretz. Lecha Adonai HaMelach, VeHaNif Na'aseh, L'chol Rosh. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu le'har kodesh. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu le'har kodesh.
Please be seated. In just a few moments, Ellen will read from us from the book of Numbers, which is today being Simchat Torah, is a very important part of Simchat Torah, is a very significant portion in the Parshiot, in the Torah portions of the year. But obviously we were a little delayed in having your bat mitzvah, Ellen, and so we are reading this Torah portion slightly out of place, but still very important, as today is the celebration of the Torah itself. And these verses in your Parsha are some of the most significant that we have throughout the entire year. And so we are honored for you to read for us from the Torah.
For the honor of our first Aliyah, we call to our bima, to our microphone, Aunt and Uncle Toby and Joe Costanzo. Ya'adu Tobabat Medal Aliyah Torah.
Love you, babes. Baruch Hu Adonai Hamvarah.
Baruch Adonai Havarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam. Asher Baruch Bonu Mikol Ha'amim. V'notan Lonu Et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai no tain HaTorah.
Amen. All right, Ellen, whenever you are ready, you can chant your Torah portion.
Amen. ונשאו את יריות המשכן ואת אוכל מועד מקצהו ומקצה התחש אשר עליו מלמעלה ואת מסך פתח אוהל מועד ואת קלעי החצר ואת מסך פתח שער החצר אשר על המשכן ועל המזבח סביב, ואת מטריהם, ואת כל כלי עבודתם, ואת כל אשר יעשה להם, ועבדו על פי אהרון ובניו תהיה כל עבודתם, כל עבודת בן הגרשוני, לכל מסעם ולכל עבודתם, ובקרתם עליהם במשמרת את כל מסעם.
Yasher Koach. Very nice. And Toby and Joe will lead us in the blessing following our Torah reading.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher notan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam notah b'socheinu Baruch atah Adonai noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Air hugs and blowing kisses.
Very nice. And for the honor of blessing the second Aliyah, we call very proud Mom and Dad, Jeffrey and Lisa first. Ya'amdu Yosef Mordechai, v'livchem Michal bat Gershon v'Shleva, la'aliyah l'Torah.
Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai Hamarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bahar banu mikol ha'amin v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Zod avod, Amen. Zod avodat mishpachot b'nei hagershuni b'chol moed u'mishmartam v'yadi tamar ben Aharon hakohen b'nei Merari l'mishpachotam l'beit avotam tivkot otam mibein shloshim shana v'mala v'ad ben hamishim shana tivkadem kol haba latzava la'avad et avodat ohel moed.
Yasher Koach. Mom and Dad will lead us in the blessing after our reading.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'hayei olam nata b'tohenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten HaTorah.
Amen. Now, Mom and Dad are going to hang right up at the podium while Ellen, beautiful, you get to sit for just a minute. So, Ellen, remember, you and I talked about this moment. You're going to look over in my direction and in Rabbi's direction. And so here we are. We are right just at the precipice of the moment where you become a bat mitzvah, something you have been working towards for quite some time, and not just any general length of quite some time, but we know that as a result of our pandemic, you had to wait a little bit longer to become a bat mitzvah, and that is never easy. And so this moment is even more charged with energy. It is even more special that you are becoming a bat mitzvah today on Simchat Torah, where we elevate our Torah. We literally are elevating Judaism itself, which is pretty amazing. So right here, you received your talit at the beginning of your service, and you have led us beautifully in prayer, and you are chanting beautifully. And so in just a moment, you are literally going to make aliyah. You're going to ascend to the Amud, to the Torah. And as you do so, that's really a physical demonstration of what's happening spiritually. You are literally ascending into becoming a bat mitzvah. And in doing so, you are moving up spiritually, and you are elevating all of us spiritually as well. And really, especially today on Simchat Torah, you are elevating every single person in the world. So it is my pleasure now to call you forward as an official bat mitzvah, and you can come on up to the Torah. Tamad ha-bachorah bat mitzvah Yohana et Hannah bat Yosef Mordechai Rivka Michal la'aliyah Torah. And you're going to first chant the blessing before the Torah whenever you are ready.
Baruch hu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torto. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
וזאת משמרת מסעם לכל עבודתם בכל מועד קרשי המשכן ובריחיו עמודיו אדניו ועמודי החצר סביב אדניהם מטירותם ומיתריהם לכל כליהם ולכל עבודתם ובשמות תפקדו את כלי משמרת מסעם. זאת עבודת משפחות בני מרי לכל עבודתם בכל מסע בכל מועד ביד איתמר בן אהרון הכהן.
Yasher Koach. And when you're ready, you can lead us in the blessing after the Torah. Be quiet, Ellen. What?
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
All right, Alan. So get in between your parents. Having done something that is incredible, chanted from the Torah in such a wonderful, wonderful way, you've made it. And we believe here we're going to elevate that spiritual presence that you're already bringing here with this added blessing on page 35. Yishaberach Avotenu v'imotenu Avraham, Yitzchak v'Yaakov, Sarah v'Ivchar Rachel v'Leah, Hu yivarech et Yochana et Hannah, bat Yosef Mordechai v'Rivka Michal, shehigia l'mitzvot v'alta l'Torah, HaKadosh Baruch Hu yishmerecha v'yechayeha, v'yichonen et liba lihyot shalem im Adonai Elohecha, lehagot b'torato, lelechet b'drachav, v'lishmor mitzvotav, v'timtzachen v'sechel tov b'einei Elohim v'adam v'nomar, Amen. And that is all to say, may God, who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless you, Ellen, who have come upon age of Aliyah for mitzvot. May the Holy One guard you and sustain you, helping you to be wholehearted in your faith, studying God's Torah, walking in God's ways, and fulfilling God's mitzvot. May you find favor before God and before all people. And we together say,
Amen.
Okay, so we are going to cover the Torah.
Excuse me.
Lisa and Alan and Jeffrey, just take the strap and wrap it around the Torah and buckle that up. And then you just need to place the cover right on top. You don't have to worry about the full dressing of the Torah. All right. So now, Ellen, now is the time, perhaps my favorite time, to learn from you with your Devar Torah, as we have seen you be our leader, our storyteller from the Torah, and now, finally, our teacher. Take it away.
My parsha now so begins with the census of two of the main Levi clans, Gershonites and Merarites, and their roles in the sanctuary. The census is accounting. The census was taken by Moses because God told him to do so. The census in this time of Moses is very different from the census taking place in the United States in 2020. In biblical times, Moses only counted people between the ages of 30 and 50 years old. I think he did this because individuals in that age group were likely mature, strong, and able-bodied. These were the individuals that could do the work in the sanctuary. It was important in biblical times to make certain that there were enough individuals to fulfill the responsibilities in the sanctuary. And the census ensured that all of the roles were accounted for and filled. Today, in 2020, we are taking a census of the population of the United States. This is done every 10 years because it is written in our country's constitution. The United States Census is completed for many purposes which are critical to the operation of our government and society. We take the census primarily to determine how much federal money is distributed to the states for public amenities such as schools, transportations, and emergency responders. It also determines the number of seats each state gets in the United States House of Representatives. I find it interesting that more than 3,000 years later, we are doing the same thing. Over 3,000 years ago, they were taking a census to ensure that people are accounted for and services were properly provided. And they're doing the same process in our country today. Individually, it is also important to sometimes stop from day-to-day activities in life and take a census of where you are in life. Not necessarily a finite count of how much money you have, how many pairs of jeans you own, or how many shoes you have in your closet, but an assessment where you measure where you are in life to identify your goals and make a determination of whether or not you are following the right path to reach them. During the course of my study for becoming a bat mitzvah, I periodically had to take my own census of where I was in my studies. I was keeping track of how many lines of my Torah portion I mastered, how much of the speech I had written. By measuring what I had achieved and what I had left to do, I was able to follow the path and achieve my goal of becoming a bat mitzvah. Now that I am a bat mitzvah, a Jewish adult, I plan on fasting for Yom Kippur because then I will have a sense of accomplishing an important part of being Jewish. An important part of being a Jewish adult. When I feel like I have earned the giant feast at the end. I plan on working at Sunday school with the kindergarten through second grade kids because they are very fun. I'm going to try out BBYO and I plan on going to the Temple Emanu-El Nifty events because they seem like really fun things to do as a Jewish teen. A Jewish value that is important to me is making sure that I treat people kindly, Gemilut Hasadim. Demonstrating kindness involves many things. Treating others with respect, being a good listener, being helpful to those around me, and being gracious and thankful when family, friends, and strangers treat me with respect and kindness. To be kind, you must be helpful and sensitive. I truly appreciate when kindness is shown to me, and reciprocating kindness is an important part of being a good person. I have volunteered as a summer counselor at the Weinstein School where I went to preschool. My Weinstein School teachers, after my family, were the individuals who showed me kindness, and the importance of kindness is how they cared for me and taught me the significance of this Jewish value. I am proud to say that I had the opportunity to give back to my community by being kind and loving to the preschool students today. I hope to have the opportunity to continue to demonstrate kindness by working with the younger kids at the Diamond Family Religious School as a madricha. For my mitzvah project, I was going to volunteer at the Marcus Jewish Community Center preschool summer camp, but because of COVID-19 and its effect on the world, it was subsequently canceled. Instead, I packed school supply bags for the kids in need. I hope this helped the kids start off their school year more prepared. Learning about the state of Israel has been an important part of my Jewish education. As a student at the Weinstein School, the Davis Academy, and the Dunn Family Religious School, as a camper at the Marcus Jewish Community Center day camps, and a camper at Camp Barney Menitz, as a member of Temple Emanu-El and growing up in an involved Jewish family, I have come to appreciate the importance of the state of Israel to the Jewish people across the world. Today, I actively listen to news about Israel, learn how to prepare and appreciate Israeli foods, and hope to one day travel to Israel to appreciate its beauty, its people, its history, and its culture in person. In preparing for my bat mitzvah, I had lots of help from my family, Joanne, Cantor, and Rabbi Max from Temple Emanu-El. Thank you to all of you for helping me prepare for this day and making everything possible. I especially want to thank my mom and my dad for all they do. To my mom, thank you for always being there when I need you and your help. Even when I complain, you're always there for me. You do your very best to help me stay on schedule and get things done on time. To Dad, thank you for helping me develop so many different interests, expanding my hobbies, and for finding my jokes funny. We have the same sense of humor, and I'm glad we can share it. Finally, I want to thank my family for coming to Atlanta for my bat mitzvah service. And thank you to all of my friends and family who joined me online to celebrate my becoming a bat mitzvah.
Thank you so much, Ellen. That was incredible and just as much fun to learn with you as you were writing this Devar Torah. So as we transition out of the Torah service, we'll sing Eitz Chaim, celebrating the life of Torah, the life that Torah gives us. These words can be found on page 39.
Eitz Chaim למחזיקים בה, לתומכך מאושר, דרכיה טרפי נועם, וכל ציוותיה שלום, השיבנו אדוני אליך ונשובה, חדש חדש ימינו, חדש ימינו כקדם.
So Ellen, if this were, as I like to call them, the before times, Santa and I would be up there on the bima with you. At this point, we would go up to the ark and we would get to say some nice things about you and give you a blessing after just doing a magnificent job. Instead, we are 33 feet away and we could just we're giving you air hugs and blowing kisses in your direction and just so proud of all that you have done. And I gotta say, studying with you in the months that we've been working on your Devar Torah has been a lot of fun. You're a funny kid, a funny young woman now, I guess, now that you are a bat mitzvah. And it's just been, every time that I log into Zoom and I see you, we always have a wonderful conversation. There's always learning. You take it so seriously and you really want to better yourself, to get your knowledge deeper. And when we were in person, you were the same way at Sunday school, and you still are the same way when we are in Zoom Sunday school. But it's been such an honor to learn from you in these most recent months, but also over the years, to get to experience you as a young adult in our congregation, as a leader, as an amazing friend, as evidenced by having such wonderful friends here to support you in person today, that I am just so proud of all that you've done here this Shabbat and all that you've done for the past many years, and I cannot wait to see what the future holds.
Ellen, I am so incredibly proud of you, and you can't see under my mask, but I'm grinning and smiling from ear to ear and wish that I could be standing up there with you right now. I feel really privileged because I have literally got to watch you grow up, I think from 3rd or 4th grade, and watch you as you sang in Simriya. And in fact, all of your friends here, your whole squad, I think, are some of my singers. And it's just so wonderful to have watched you, how you interact with such energy and happiness and also kindness. And so my charge for you is to bring that thirst for knowledge that Rabbi Max talked about. Bring that happiness and joy that you have, that sense of humor that you have, and that kindness that pulls friends to surround you into your life as an official bat mitzvah. And I know, Ellen, that when you do that, you are just going to rise higher and higher and be even more of a shining star than you are right now. And you're pretty shining. Mazel tov.
So now it is our pleasure to offer you these words, which actually come from your very Torah portion. These words from the priestly benediction from the parasha of Naso. And we will offer you these that Jewish communities have been saying for thousands of years as you take your place in the chain of tradition.
May
God bless you and keep you. May God watch over you and always be kind to you. May wherever you go, you always be surrounded by God's presence, giving you the most precious gift of all, the gift of shalom, the gift of peace. We say it together.
Amen.
All right, so it's my pleasure to invite up Lisa and Jeffrey to join you, Ellen, at the Amud, to say a few blessings, a few words about you as you have now become bat mitzvah.
5,011 days ago, you entered this world. When you entered our lives, we had no idea that we could love someone so much. And every one of these 5,011 days, we have grown to love and cherish you even more. You have accomplished something at 13 that we did not do until we were adults. You became a bat mitzvah today. You led us all in prayer, and you have expressed your commitment to living a Jewish life and to becoming a meaningful contributor to the Jewish community. You are a woman with a Jewish heritage and a Jewish identity. We are so proud of what you have accomplished and all that you will be. This is only the beginning. This is the part of the service where we are asked to give you our blessing. We thought about the advice that we could give you on this day. What could we say that would be meaningful and memorable? And what lessons we want to impart, and what could I get through without crying? Your Hebrew name, Johanna Etana, references dedication and strength. You are the embodiment of your name, which is exactly what we hoped for you. We wanted our daughter to be strong physically and mentally. We wanted you to be assured in your opinions and dedicated to those you love and passionate about the things you love.
Ellen, you've always been opinionated, a clear voice and a clear point of view when something is important to you. Even though we sometimes try to interrupt you when your opinions are lengthy, know that we always respect and applaud your passion, enthusiasm, and excitement for the topic. We wish for you to continue to express yourself, Continue to stand up for what you believe in and never stop voicing your opinions. You've always been extremely passionate about the things that you love, whether it be baking, cooking, anime, learning about different cultures, reading, or music. You take the time to research carefully whatever subject interests you to learn all that you can. You've always tried to learn several languages on your own. You're not afraid to try a new recipe, new food, or a new cooking technique. You're willing to read new things and listen to our old school music. While you may not always like these things, you are never afraid to give them a try. We wish for you to continue to have a passion for learning and experiencing new things through school, work, travel, and even the routine activities of life. Ellen, you are a great friend and daughter. You support and care for those around you who are important to you. Being a good friend is not always easy, but you take the extra steps to be a good listener, to be helpful to your friends, and to genuinely express thanks when your friends do something nice for you. We wish that your life continues to be filled with meaningful and fulfilling relationships with people who will help you become your best self and who will encourage you to follow your dreams. We wish that your life is filled with the love of family and friends who know you, love you, and support you, no matter what. People who will always be standing by you and behind you. One of the things that makes you such a good friend is that you are a compassionate and empathetic person, and you are a great helper. This quality makes you a good teacher and caregiver. You have displayed these character traits when you help teach and care for younger children at the JCC, snuggle with puppies at Bosley's Place, and package school supplies for children in need. You also exhibit these attributes when you help Bubby carry her laundry down the stairs or make dinner for yourself and Matthew when we are working late. We encourage you to continue to show compassion, empathize with others, and treat everyone with kindness, tenderness, and care, most especially yourself. Ultimately, Ellen, we wish for you love, happiness, and good health. We wish for you to appreciate your opportunities, accept responsibility, and that you always have a sense of humor and that you are able to laugh with others and at yourself. And we wish for you to be able to be satisfied with yourself and that you are worthy and deserving of everything good that happens in your life. We love you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Wonderful. Yeah, hugs and kisses. Come on, bring it in, folks. Yeah, there you go. All right, as we conclude our service, begin to conclude our service with Aleinu on page 40, I'd like to invite Matthew to please join your family up on the bima to help with opening the ark doors. And we rise together as one congregation, page 40.
Aleinu l'shaveh ha'adon ha'kol, la'tekiru al'yoser b'reshit. Shalom asanu kegoye ha'aratzot, lelo salanu kimishpechot ha'adama. Shalom sam chelkenu kahem, v'gor aleinu kechol v'amonam. V'anachnu korim, u'mishtachavim u'modim, Lifnei melech, malchei hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, v'ne'emar, v'chaya Adonai, l'melech al kol haaretz, v'yom hahu, yeh Adonai echad, u'shemo,
All right, closing of the ark doors. Thank you very much, Matthew. Please be seated. And the first family, just kind of keep taking a step closer to the Amud. So at this time, before we conclude with Havdalah, Ellen, we recall the names of loved ones in your family who are no longer with us, who have died in years past. But we believe that by calling out their names, their presence, their spirit is here with us, and they are smiling and proud of what you have accomplished and what you have become. And so we remember at this time Rosalind and Adolph Eagle, Adele and Marty First, Gerald Katz, Milton and Mildred Siegel, May and Israel Bear, Eugene Bear, and Joan Eagle First. If there's anyone in our congregation who is in the first 30 days mourning the loss of a loved one, I invite you to please rise at this time. You are in the first year mourning the loss of a loved one. I invite you to please rise now at this time. If you are commemorating a yahrzeit, the death anniversary of a loved one this Shabbat, I invite you to please rise now at this time. And if you would like to rise for those who have no one to say Kaddish for them, please do so at this time. If it is your custom to rise at Kaddish Yatom, please rise now as we continue praying together these words of Mourner's Kaddish, page 41. Yitkadal
Yitkadash Shemei Rabbah, Ba'alma Divrach Yirtei V'Amich Malmotei, B'chayahon U'Yomechon Chuvtei Chov Beit Yisrael, Ba'ala U'Bizman Kariv V'Imru Amen.
Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mevarach Le'alam V'Almei Almaya.
Yitbarach V'Yishtar V'Yitzpa'ar V'Yitraman V'Yitnaseh, V'Yitadar V'Yitalei V'Yitalal Shemei Kedusha B'Rechu,
Le'elam Kol Birchata V'Shirata, Tushbechata V'Nechemata, Da'amram De'alma V'Imru Amen. Yehei Shlama Rabba Min Shammai, V'Chaim Aleinu V'El Kol Yisrael V'Imru Amen. Oseh Shalom B'Ramav, Hu Yaseh Shalom, Aleinu V'El Kol Yisrael V'Imru Amen.
Oseh Shalom B'Ramav, Hu Yaseh Shalom, Aleinu Ve'el Kol Yisrael Ve'imru Amen. Oseh Shalom B'Ramav, Hu Yaseh Shalom, Aleinu Ve'el Kol Yisrael Ve'imru Amen. Oseh Shalom B'Ramav, Hu Yaseh Shalom, Aleinu Ve'el Kol Yisrael Ve'imru Amen.
All right, as we transition into Havdalah, we bring out the candle, the wine, and the spices to remind us of the sweetness of Shabbat, the sweetness of this day, as we join together. Yeah, go for it, Alan. You want to light it? You're a bat mitzvah. Holding each symbol high as we collectively join together in these words, marking the end of a sweet, sweet day into a new week, a new month, a new year, and a lifetime ahead of Jewish action, thought, and love.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. We lift up that flame. Orei ve'orei ha'esh. Orei ve'orei ha'esh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Amavil ben kodesh lechol. Amavil ben kodesh lechol. We sing yai lai 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 yai lai 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 yai lai 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 yai lai lai lai. One more time. Yai lai 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 yai lai 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 yai lai 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 lai.
So Ellen, take a sip of the grape juice. And then extinguish, okay, yeah, the whole thing too. And then extinguish the flame.
Amadu ben kodesh lechol, chatotenu hu yivchol, zar'inu v'chaspenu yar b'chachol, v'chakochavim b'layla. Shavua tov, 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 Shavua tov. Eliyahu Hanavi, Eliyahu Hatishvi, Eliyahu, Eliyahu, Eliyahu Hagiladi, Dimehira v'yameinu, Yavo Eleinu, Mashiach ben David, Mashiach ben David, Eliyahu Hanavi, Eliyahu Hatishvi, Eliyahu, Eliyahu, Eliyahu Hagiladi.
We say together.
Sing it up, mazel tov, mazel tov, and sing it up, mazel tov, mazel tov, and
Sing it up, mazel tov, mazel tov, and sing it up. Yehelanu, Yehelanu, U'B'Kol Yisrael. Yehelanu, U'B'Kol Yisrael. Yehelanu, U'B'Kol Yisrael. Yehelanu, U'B'Kol Yisrael. Mazel tov! Ellen, wonderful, wonderful job. Mazel tov, Shabbat Shalom, Shavua Tov, everybody.
Shabbat tov!
Mazel tov.